Office hour number 51, SPM Resource Management, What's New in San Diego. So thank you all for joining who are here live with us. This is the office hour format that we've been experiencing, I think we're now about a year and a half. So amazing. Thank you guys for continuing to support us with our office hours. But the purpose of this office hour is really, the format is just pretty straightforward. The first 30 minutes to 45 minutes is really, we invited a senior subject matter expert to talk about the topic that's at hand. And the topic is all about resource management, what's changed in San Diego. And then for the remaining portion of time is open for questions that you guys as customers may have about the functionality that's shown, as well as additional questions related to it. So hopefully it's an open back and forth dialogue. As you have any questions, as the resource is actually talking through some of the PowerPoint deck or demonstrations, et cetera, feel free to put those into the chat window, and I'll do my best to have the resources pause and to say, hey, here's a particular question from this person, and then try to get that answered. If not, we'll try to get those answered as they first came in towards the end of the call. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to our senior subject matter expert, Namita Mishra. She's our senior principal product success manager. She's amazing. She knows all about resource management. So without further ado, take it away, Namita.
Thank you so much, Charles, for this amazing introduction. And welcome everyone to our resource management office hour number 51. And this is Namita Mishra. I work with ServiceNow for the strategical portfolio management group. And I'm the senior principal product success manager. If you have any question afterwards the call, you can always contact me. Okay, so what we have done in the San Diego, the theme of San Diego was not to actually give you any new feature, but this was mainly based on voice of customers. What I mean by that is we have picked the ideas from the communities, from the idea portal, and based on what our customers were asking, based on that, we have given certain enhancements. So, and Adam, I see you have raised your hand. Is there any question from your side? Oh, that is for the San Diego release. Okay, thank you. No worries. Okay, so let me go ahead and share with you that what all enhancements we have done in this release. The first one we have done is we have now provided the, the advanced filter on the skills, location, or any other field from the resource finder so that you can easily search your resources from the group or the role. Then we have also done some enhancements on the date filtering, because most of the ideas we have seen, and I was getting so many emails to fix the dates filtering in the resource allocation workbench. Third, we have done the resource finder view. In that, we have now added the requested column so that as a resource manager, you can get end-to-end view, just not only what is the capacity or confirmed, but also what has been requested. And last but not the least, in the resource finder, now you can see more than 50 resources. So previously, if you are using resource allocation workbench, you might be aware that there were challenges of loading the resources if you have more than 50 resources. So what I'll do, I have just added a few screenshots, and at the end of the presentation, I'll share this deck with you. So the first thing that we have done on the date-related enhancement is actually at two places. One, at the top of the screen where you have from and to. So what we have done in this San Diego release is that when you select any date range here, for one, we always highlight that duration that was selected by you. And second, the view always starts with the from month that you have selected here. So that gives you the ease of navigation rather you scrolling every time from one month to another month. The next thing that we have done is that when you are seeing this, this information on the resource allocation workbench, and you keep changing your groups, from one project to another project, we keep this view on the right-hand side, the dates, static, which means this view will not jump to the beginning of the resource plan when you change the resource plans from the left-hand side. Next one we have done is in the resource finder. In the resource finder, now we have allowed you to add a custom date range. And the whole idea of giving this custom date range is to enable the resource manager to put the date of her choice so that she can filter just not for next 3 months or previous 3 months, but between the dates for which she wants to see the information in the resource finder. And while we were doing all these enhancements, we went back to the customers and we asked them that, do they need any other option here? And one of the things that we heard from them is that at the top section, as you see here, it is static, but they said, sometimes we would like one click in order to go back to the beginning of the resource plan. Again, not scrolling, but just one option. So we have provided from the ellipsis an option, say, go to start date, which when selected, will take the resource manager to the beginning of the resource plan, wherever is the beginning of the resource plan. So this is on the date-related enhancements. And by the way, feel free to keep your questions, post your questions in the chat, or stop me anytime if you have any question. Moving on, the second one that we have done is the pagination. As I said in the beginning, prior to the San Diego release, there were some performance challenges when you have a group or a role which has more than 50 resources. So it was taking time to load here, and the experience was not that good. So what we have done in San Diego release, we have now provided the pagination. If your group or if your role has more than 50 resources, at any given point in time, you will see 50 resources, but you only can go here and say get more to go and see the next 50 resources. Remember, while you are doing this, at any given point in time, if you are using the filters, that filter will be applied on all the resources, just not the 50, but all the resources in that group or in that role. Okay. The next one is advanced filters in the resource finder view. Remember, the advanced filter was previously available just for the users, but in San Diego, it is also available for the group and role, which means as a resource manager, take a scenario, if you have a group of analysts, but you are only interested in seeing the users who belong to a certain location or department or who has certain skill set, you can always now use the advanced filter to see the resources of your choice using the advanced filter. And the next one is requested column in the resource finder. So the requested column in the resource finder we have added because resource managers gave the feedback that they also would like to see what has been requested so that they can take an informed decision, so, while allocating or confirming the resources. Hence, this column is now added for a group or a role. Okay. Last but not the least is the fill right. So most of the times we have heard this requirement that people wanted to copy and paste the value into the multiple cells. So in San Diego, we have given the fill right option, using which you can copy and paste cells into multiple cells. And with this, what I'll do, I will now, this is just the overview. Now I will show you how it actually works in the real environment. So let me go ahead and pull up my system, pull up the instance here. Second. I'm just logging in here. So I'm into the San Diego instance, and let me log in as Rosie Matthews. I'm impersonating as Rosie. Rosie is my resource manager. So she goes to her allocation workbench, and she is at this point in time interested in the analyst group. She would like to see what are the different resource plans which are in different states for the analyst group between January till March, or say, let me extend this, say January till April. She clicks on go. As you can see here, your view always starts from January, and the highlighted section goes up till whatever date you have given into. So January to April is here, which helps you in recognizing that this is the date range for which you are trying to find the information. Now, it may happen that this resource plan for Create Sales Manager Dashboard in SPM CRM portal is starting from some back date, and you would like to see that from the very beginning. Just come to the actions, the ellipsis, and say go to start date. It starts from February 2021, and hence the system has jumped to February 2021. You want to go back to January to April, just click on go here. And system will. While this selection is made, you can easily go and change your resource plans, and every time your starting will be from January and highlighted section will remain till April. Okay. The next thing on the date filtering is, suppose if I select this analyst group and I would like to see in the resource finder. So as you can see, this is my analyst group information. Now I am interested not to see from December 2021 till May 2022, for which this resource plan has been created. Rather, I am only interested in seeing the information from, say, January 2022 till May 2022. So when I do that, it only gives me the information from Jan to May. And as you know, it is showing me capacity availability, but you can select more columns from here to see what you want. Now, I'm also interested in seeing what has been requested. Okay, so if I know what has been requested, I can take an informed decision. So in this case, if you see, capacity is 11 FTE, whereas requested is 1.86 FTE, and the availability is 6.72. This gives me a comfort level that my resources, the analyst group, has more availability than what has been requested out of this group. So I can easily go and confirm or allocate the resources, right? So this is on the resource finder. Next thing is, suppose this is 0.4 planned, but in the March it is 0.9. I want to change it to 0.4. I can either go here or I can simply say fill right. And I want 0.4 in all the cells for planned. So if I click on update, it will simply fill here 0.4. If you want to go back, you can always make it 0.9. That's not a problem. So fill right option provides you to fill the value in the multiple cells towards your right, and you can always select how many cells you want to fill with that. Okay, so that is on the next one. Now, the next thing which I want to show you here is on the advanced filter. So previously, advanced option was only available for search by user attributes, but now it is also available for search by group. And for example, sorry, I want to filter I want to filter where department is IT. Just trying to show you. And say location is APAC. And say skill is Java. Or say you can select something else here. And as you can see, there were multiple users, but by using the advanced filter, now it has returned you only 2 users who actually match this criteria. Same thing, advanced filter you can use by search by role as well. So if you have any role, you can always go into that. So this is just again to enable the resource manager to filter the resources easily in a group or a role based on their criteria. The next one, which I'm going to show you, is the pagination. So let me go back here. And let me take another group, which has more than 50 users. This is my global group. So if I come here in the resource finder, as you can see, it has 100 users in this group, and it is displaying 50 out of 100 users. So if you say get more, it will show you the next 50 in the list here. Okay, so this is all about the lazy loading, where you can see group of 50 users every time by clicking on get users. Okay, so I think that's all which I wanted to cover today. Any question from anyone? Or any feedback, what you would like to see in the coming up releases? By the way, one more thing I want to show you. Sorry, I just have forgotten to show you one more thing. Remember, if you add a new user in your group or role, you have to first go and sometimes you have to update the capacity. And for that, prior to the San Diego release, you were going to the user's record and then using the update resource capacity related link. In order to minimize that switching the context from one screen to another, what we have provided here, update capacity. When you right click a new option, update capacity, actually it does the same thing. It brings you the same screen over here. And suppose if I want to increase the capacity from January 1st till say end of this year, I can simply say, okay. It does the same thing, no change in the, in the functionality. But just that now you don't have to switch the context from one screen to another in order to update the capacity. So here I will open up the floor for questions, feedback, or any concerns that you have.
Okay, thank you, Namita. Anyone would like to raise their hand for a question? Sylvan, was that you?
Yes, perhaps I can ask the first question. Okay. Thank you, Namita, for presenting. One question regarding the field right option, which is a great one. Would it be possible to have a kind of do not display again in the future the pop-up option? Because the pop-up is okay, but at least it's more like a confirmation message,
Right.
So would it be possible to have a kind of checkbox here in this window to say, okay, do not show again?
Oh, I see.
So you can go even faster, without the pop-up.
Yeah, I got your point. So thanks for asking that question, Stephen. But actually, it's just not the confirmation. It is little more than that. And I should have explained it to you earlier.
Okay.
So now if you see, let me, increase, but 1 second, and let me go back to analyst group, which has more resource plans, and show you something. Then it will be self-explanatory. So suppose if I go little back here, say November. And at this point in time, if I say fill right, my requirement here is, if you see, after November, there are 5 months, December, January, February, March, and April, March only, for which this resource plan is created. But I don't want to fill 0.44 in all the 5 cells. I have changed it to say here 0.2. And I just want 0.2 in December and January. So when I come here, I can say 3 cells, right? And I say 0.2, which means now if you see 0.2, 0.2, and 0.2. So from November to January. So if I simply say confirmation, then what fill right will do, it will not give you an option of selecting the cells. It will just,
it would fill everything. It would fill everything, but
yeah.
I was looking for a way to go faster, even faster, without the pop-up. But okay, at the end, it's just one more click.
Yeah, that's right. But it gives you more flexibility, right? Yeah. Okay, great.
And
thanks.
And another question, if I may, and then I will stop.
Sure.
Regarding the date selection, why is there a reason why the dates between the allocation workbench and the resource finder is not synchronized by default?
Very good question.
Why do we need to select, select first the date range for the allocation workbench, and after, in a second step, select again the same date range in the resource finder? Why is not synchronized by default?
Very good question. And by the way, I think this has been asked in the recent past by one other user. So this is, I'm hearing for the second time. I'll give you the background, but if it is not working for most of our users, please feel free to put an idea on our community, and we will, get in touch with you. So basically, the idea behind doing this thing is that on the top section here, if you see, there are multiple projects and multiple resource plans. Every resource plan may be of different duration. There is no fixed duration, right? Because every resource plan can start at a different date and end at a different date. So as a resource manager, and suppose there is a 2 years resource plan starting from 2021 going till 2022. But you don't want to now see all the way starting from 2021, right? Because all the actions you have taken. What you are interested right now for all these resource plans, which are here, or for all the projects, is just show me starting from my current month, which is say May, and go all the way till July. Let's say this way. Say go. So when you are doing this, right, May till July, what system is allowing you to do, you just go to any, but you will only see May from July. This is the reason why we have given this. Now, coming to your second part of the question, that then why May to July is not set up in the resource finder? The reason being, in the resource finder, when you are seeing, it is just this one single resource plan. So we just populate the start and the end date of the resource plan that you have selected, right? But sometimes it is not working for the folks, and hence we have said, okay, if you want your own custom date range, you can always select from here the custom date range. That is the background, Sylvian. But if it is not working for you, and if you are saying that, this date and this date should be same, please feel free to post an idea on the community, and we will think about it.
Yeah, I will think about it as well.
Sure.
There are 2 ways of working with that screen indeed. Okay.
Absolutely. But great question. Thanks for opening up the floor for asking the questions.
Welcome.
Okay.
Like Kadeem, do you have a question?
Yes, hey, good morning, Nabata. Thank you for the breakdown. Just for the setting up the allocation workbench, we have managers who supervise these resource groups. What's the best way to get them started setting up their allocation workbench? Should they just look at the projects where their resource group is requested, and then that's a good start? Okay.
Yeah, right. Let me tell you. So basically, these are the resource managers, right?
Yes.
Now resource managers can have different views. They want to see their data with the different lenses, let's say that way. One is that if I am managing 5 groups, right? I don't want to create, say, 5 cards. What I can rather do is I can say, show me where I am the group manager. Or if I'm not a group manager, I'm a user manager and I want to see where my resources are spending time, I can simply say, show me all the resource plans of my resources. So in this case, I think Rosie Matthews is a resource manager, user manager for a couple of resources. Okay. Resources. And if you create this, so no matter using which criteria you are coming here, and what generally I have seen, most of the times my resource managers are interested in seeing what has been requested. Because planning, they are not interested because somebody is doing the planning and that plan can change. Allocated, most of the times they are not interested because they have already taken an action. So most interested piece of information for a resource manager is requested. Second is confirmed because they have soft booked the resources and now they would like to hard book when the time comes. And last but not the least is the extension requested, because if there is a resource plan for which extension has been requested, they will see that. But how to come here, it depends upon what lens you want to use for your resources. Does that answer your question, Kadeem, or you have a follow-up question?
It absolutely does. I just wanted to make sure that, for instance, if we had a resource manager with 2 groups, they can they could collect that together.
Yes.
And then as on through a monthly basis, they assign their allocations. How frequently do you see resource managers, adjusting their resource plans as well as like adjusting their confirmations and allocations?
Oh, this is common, because when we plan something, most of the time the plan changes, and it is not an exception for the project management or resource management, right? So, and that's the why we have given these options here. This analyst group. That was the only reason we have heard from our customers, that there were frequent changes, and hence we have given these options such as, let me put it here, move resource plan, extend resource plan, or reduce resource plan. That was the reason why these options, or replace resource. So for example, because changes are inevitable once it is there, so maybe you want to replace this user with another user. So all these options came because there was a requirement from our customers where they are asking that, plans are changing. How can I use the same allocated or confirmed resource plan without canceling it? So Kadeem, it is a common requirement I have seen.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure. So are you using all these options, Kadeem, like replace user or something, move resource plan?
So right now we are, we only have planned, and we're moving to start opening up the confirm and allocate
Okay.
right now. We're demoing this out to a few of the directors and resource managers. But one of the questions were, does the director see the portfolio set up for their resources, and then the resource manager see a group, kind of a group build?
Mhm.
So I was just wondering how we should kind of initially set up the allocation workbench. And I think you answered that pretty much.
Yeah, and just quick reminder here, because you said portfolio, right? That is also available because you can create on your portfolio. So if you want to see under your portfolio, for example, let's say application modernization, right? Resource plans for app modernization. If this is your portfolio, you can always create a card for that. And then it will show you all the projects or demands under that portfolio for, various resources. So that is pretty much possible. Good question, Kadim.
Thank you. Looks great.
Sure, thank you.
There's a question too in the chat window there, Namita. Can you see that from Sarah? Sarah, if you want to get off, you can go ahead and raise that.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Sarah from UW Health in Wisconsin. And as I'm looking at this, I think the way that we're using resource management and how we've defined our groups, would it be possible to be able to pick like more than one group to create this view versus having it based on the manager or a portfolio of a program? Because like from a director perspective, they would probably want to see a view across all of those items based on the groups for their teams that they oversee.
I see. So basically what you are saying is that you would like to see the card to be created on more than one groups or roles, maybe. Yeah,
or if there's another view out there that's recommended to display that for leaders in our department.
Right. And maybe tell me if this works for you. And folks on the call, please feel free if you are handling it in a different way to share your views also. So for example, just now I was answering Sylvan's question, right? So we have created this card for app modernization. So this is for a portfolio, by the way. But if you are interested in looking for a different type of group, right? You can always come here and you say, I want to see only the resource plans for the analyst group. And you just search it, right? Then you say, oh, I'm also working on, say, architects group. You just search that. So you can see what is the capacity, availability, requested, confirmed. Let me put out this information, but this is one by one, Sarah. It's not like you can see all at once. So this is one way of handling it. There is no way right now by you can search by groups and you can select multiple groups here. But let me ask this forum, is anyone handling it in a different way? Okay, looks like nobody, but yeah, so that's the question.
We've actually not seen that, but this is at a high. That's an amazing use case, because the reason why is you can go in under the user and have the manager pick all the groups that they're responsible for, and it'll bring it all in. But if you're a director, really the only way to get to that is to kind of dot walk up to try to create it. And you're right, that's a great idea.
Yeah, certainly. I certainly believe it's a great idea. We don't have that today in the product, but Sarah, you have brought up a good point. Please put an idea on the community portal.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
And folks who are listening to this and agree, please thumbs up, vote, and comment on Sarah's idea when she puts it there.
Rick also too had mentioned, what about parent-child groups?
Oh, can you elaborate your question, Rick, please? Hello?
Rick, you could go ahead and unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Rick.
Okay, So I was just thinking that, in certain situations in my past, we've had, for example, several groups that perform similar functions regionally that roll up to a parent group. So if I were to select a resource group here that was a parent, would it be able to look at the resources within the child groups beneath it?
No, whatever group you are selecting here, only that group is searched, not the parent or the child.
Okay, and I was that was tied to the previous question in terms of getting visibility into groups if they were children of a parent. If you select the parent, you could see all the child groups beneath it.
Yeah, but actually you brought up another good point, because I don't know, this by the way never came to my knowledge. Nobody has asked for it, but I'm thinking this is also a good idea, because sometimes you have that parent-child relationship, and while you are at the topmost group, you may also want to see all the children and their capacity available. Perfect idea. Thank you. Okay. What else, folks? Anything else where I can help you by answering your question? Or by the way, were you expecting something in San Diego which you haven't seen and you want to see it in the future release? This is your chance to bring up that point.
So Namita, I have a quick question. This is Shweta here.
Hey, Shweta.
So I'm seeing this whole area, but I have a quick question regarding the operational resource plan.
Sure.
So if we have an operational resource plan, will that, when we are creating allocation work batch, that resource plan will come up here, or how you are tying that operational resource plan here? Will it automatically deduct our capacity for that specific resource?
Very good question, Shweta. And let me tell you that operational resource plans can be created and managed from the resource allocation workbench, starting the Rome release. And
Rome, okay.
Right. And just let me tell you, give me a quick second here, how you can do that.
Because we have some leads or managers who are like doing 20% of their time in admin. So if we are truly start using allocation workbench, we will not show them that they are fully available 1,560 hours.
Certainly. And to answer your question, what I have done, I have logged in here as administrator because I want to show you some options here. So if you come here, 1 second. And if you say, there are 2 levels of control which I have given. So the first is admin will control, because I have seen not all customers use the operational resource plans. So sometimes if they're not interested in that feature, that is fine. But those who are interested, after upgrading to Rome or any release after that, you have to come to the resources properties and just check this box, create and manage operational resource plans from the resource allocation workbench. Once you have done that, then it's up to the resource manager whether they would like to see the operational resource plans for their particular card or not. In this case, analyst group, right now you are not seeing. Why? Because I have not enabled it from here. Again, we don't want to clutter the view by default, hence we are giving resource managers an option. So
how capacity is calculated? Let's say I have 50% admin time and I'm only available for work for 50% only.
Correct.
So how system will calculate the capacity and how it's gonna calculate during the bottom part?
Very good question. So basically, if you see the operational resource plan right now, if you see, this is from January till December of this year for analysts, it is for 10%. What happens is that once you allocate that resource plan, operational resource plan, and if you come down to any of the resource, you see here, this capacity is allocated, which means now you will not, it will keep aside 0.14 FTE for the month of January for the operational work for Petering. And similarly for other resources, it will keep aside this capacity of the resources. Hence, what you will see as a resource manager is, the remaining capacity. So,
Okay, so
0.5.
it's already allocated
Yes.
box. But now with the San Diego feature, you are
Mhm.
saying we don't have a capacity to see this operational work, how much hours allocated here in this allocation work batch, right?
No. I'm saying starting Rome, you see this. So San Diego is after Rome. So this is my San Diego.
Oh, okay,
instance.
okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone
So
who is
we now have all this functionality.
absolutely any customer who is on Rome or further releases will see this capability.
Okay, okay, got it.
By the way,
And we are good.
Yeah, Shweta. By the way, just to elaborate on this point, what I said, what I meant by what you will see Rome and after that is this section, operational resource plans at the top. Before Rome also, we were showing you the operational resource plan here in the resource finder. So there is nothing new in this section. It is existing. Yeah, it is existing. Okay. Cool. Thanks, Shweta. Any other point from you or anyone else?
Nope.
Yeah. Okay.
And do we have out of box reports available for these allocations or capacity reports?
Oh, certainly you have that. If you see here, you can always go to the resource reports.
Yeah, that one we cannot use now because we have not opened all the functionalities. But after that, we would certainly can use that one. Yep.
Yeah. You can create your new reports because by using the reports new, or you have these 5 out of the box reports, which you can also use. So it's up to you.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta. Any other question or feedback for me for resource management? Hey, Daniel, you have a comment?
Hey, a quick question on this view. Is it possible to get a, like if we were to look at operational resource plans, is there a way to get a subtotal of the planned and the allocated numbers, either on the left right next to it or somewhere just for the time period?
Yeah, certainly. So,
oh, there you go. That's exactly it.
Right. Why you were not seeing that? Because it is FTE. And just let me elaborate this point, right? When you say FTE is like 1.06 or 1, it doesn't make a logical sense if I sum up this, because still at the end you need 1 FTE or 1.06 FTE, right? It's not a sum of all these. Whereas if you go to hours, you get the total plan hours. So here you go.
Perfect.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure. Any other point for me?
There is a update from Mike in the chat window really quick.
Oh, okay.
And also to Kadeem.
Okay. Thank you, Charles. Okay. So Mike's question is, okay, actually, Mike, why don't you unmute yourself and yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Namita. I don't know if this is if this idea makes sense or not. I was just thinking more on, I like Sarah's question about trying to create a board for like, I think she said like a director, like a larger group. So I'm just playing with the resource plan. I don't know that this would solve it, but it looks like you could select either multiple groups or this way, or group is, and then add or conditions.
I think we are solving it, but let's check it.
Or if all of the groups under that director had the same name, if it's the name of a division or something, it could be like group name contains. So again, maybe not a full solution. I was just, I thought that was a good question. So I was thinking more about that.
Great idea. And let's see. So if you see here, it is analyst. Here also analyst. I believe architects will also come. So, okay, I can create a new resource plan very quickly. Let's do this. And if I create a new resource plan here for architects, because analyst is there. And I'll copy this to save my time. But here I'll change group to architects. I just keep everything same. Okay. I want all members just very quickly. Yeah. So this is between March till, and now we should see two groups here. Good. I think you have solved that question. Wow. See, this is the reason why we need office hours. Thank you so much. And I think, Sarah, it was your question, right? You are still on.
Yeah, it was. I think this, we don't really use the allocation workbench right now for some of the like the date reasons and things you've mentioned that are getting fixed. So I'm definitely looking forward to diving into it. What I've been thinking is on the resource reports module, like the ability to choose multiple groups there, because it's kind of a prettier view, so to speak, for our leaders to look at. But I definitely like this. Definitely some very good problem solving here.
Yeah, it is. It is. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mike. Okay. There was one more question. I think, Charles, you said that. Okay. Oh, Kadeem is asking what reports are available for resource management. I think, Kadeem, we covered this, right? Or you have something different?
No, it's just about the same. If we were to just export any particular month for a group, just showing where they've been allocated. I just wonder if you guys create any updated reports.
Okay. Forum, the question for you from Kadeem. Okay. Kadeem looks like no answer, but
No, I'm sorry, Namada, this is Kadeem. So I was wondering what reports were available to extract out of the system when we start talking about capacity of a team for a particular month, and if we wanted to kind of report that to upper management, or even just check if all of the allocations have been spread across particular groups and teams. One of the questions that we do get often too is, hey, are there projects that are missing my team? So for example, we have an infrastructure group where each project needs to go through a infrastructure review. So it'd be awesome to see, hey, what critical projects are out there that don't have our team have a resource plan for our group as well. So those are the reports I thought, it'd be nice to have.
Oh, certainly, certainly. And that you can see, you don't have to switch anywhere. That
Okay.
you can get from here, because if you say search by, let me think what I just heard. Okay. So basically, if I say search by group and if I say analysts, you will see that analyst group is working on which all projects, but you are interested in reverse. You want to see for every project whether you have a resource plan for the analyst or not.
Absolutely correct.
So you want I to R view, not R to I view. Okay, investment to resources. Let me think about it. I think there has to be a way, but may I get back to you after this one, after giving it a thought?
Sounds good. And I didn't want to interrupt you. I think you were going to one of the reports, just one of the out-of-box resource management reports before we got into this conversation.
Yeah, I think I was showing that, but for your question, but that's not going to solve the answer, solve your query, but still. What I was trying to show you is if you go to the allocation detail, because you said you want to see how the spread is, but this is just for one group. Let me show you that. Say analysts, and say I am interested in till January, say. So if I say, sorry, July. And here you can see what all the resources in this particular group is, the capacity requested, confirmed. And by the way, if you're interested in seeing a particular, say for feature, from where this 82 number is coming, right? You can always click on it and it gives you these tasks where the Peter is spending time and hence the 82 is coming. So if you expand all, it tells you that, by the way, wherever the task is empty, which means it is operational resource plan, right? Because operational resource plan is not tied to any task. So operational work, he is spending 8 hours. Then on a particular project, this person is spending 34 hours and so on. And hence at the bottom, you see the total is 82. So this is another view you can get here.
So Namita, is there any way where we can bring a capacity requested and then utilization percentage or something which we have seen in allocation workbench here, or variance remaining something here?
Yeah, so see, capacity is here, requested is also here. So if you go to requested, here also you see that, from where this requested is coming. What we don't show here, and there is a reason, Shweta, we may work on it to handle, but right now, percentage utilization is calculated on the fly. It's not a field, right? It is calculated on the fly on the resource allocation workbench, and hence you are not seeing it in this report.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, just wanted
these are all in hours, right?
Yeah, these are all in hours. By the way, it's up to you. You want to see it in FTE, you can always run the report.
And then can we export it?
Yes, if you see here, export is not supported on this particular report. Yeah,
I remember I used to copy and paste the data.
Yeah. We are thinking to make it better in future releases, but as of now, we don't have export on this report.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Shweta.
Thank you.
Thank you. And coming back to Kadim's question, Kadim, anything else you would like to see?
No, one question I did was going to follow up on is actuals being in this report, but I see it's one of the columns. So whenever a user puts in a timesheet, we can actually see.
Yes.
Yeah, this is awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah. And actuals, actually, I have added in the resource finder in Rome release, if I'm right, if I remember.
Okay.
Yes, but the problem right now is we are not tying the time to the resource plan because we have not opened confirmation and allocation. That's why. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I remember you are only keeping it until requested, Shweta, right?
Yeah, we are just planning it, and then we are not moving with an confirm an allocation, because there could be some projects where they could start entering a time and they don't have resource planning. So we are creating, now we had in customization, we have $0 cost plan and we were tying the actuals on it. But now with a San Diego, you have out of box functionality available automatically created. So we reversed that customization to use your out of box functionality.
Perfect. Thank you, Shweta. Good to know. And by the way, because we are on this screen, I just want to remind you that you have the show and hide option, where if you just want to see the over allocated resources, it is very much available. If you just want to see the available resources and all resources, I mean, this is also so over allocated.
And we do not have any option to take a export or anything here also, right?
Yeah, export is not there, but we are working on it, and very soon, I think. So just to inform this group, we have alignment planner workspace, a new capability, right? And in future releases, you will see the resources, capacity planning, or other related stuff moved to be on the alignment planner workspace. This is our roadmap item. Release is not yet confirmed, but just FYI. So you will see.
We saw a lot of stuff in knowledge. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. In knowledge, correct. Yeah. Okay. Any other question for me from anybody, or feedback or concerns? Okay, let me see the
Great
chat.
job.
Thank you.
I was about to say that too. Great job, Namita, as always. So those who listen to the recording, if you have any questions, please post them in the community, because that's what this recording will be. For those who attended this call, thank you guys so much. We wish you all a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and Charles for hosting this call. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namita,
Yeah. Hey.
it's still recording. I'll email you.
Oh, sure. Thanks. Okay, I'll stop sharing. And Charles, can you go ahead and stop recording? I think we are done with here.
He left the call. He's not on.